Ladies and gentlemen, chaps and chapettes, gather round. Sir Slender steps to the mic, prim and proper but bound to spit the grimiest truths from the fuck-shrouded town. Let's commence, shall we? In the alleys where the rain slicks the cobblestones black, I glide like a shadow, suit press, no turning back. Filthy deals in the dim, where the rats hold court, but I negotiate with eloquence, no need for retort. Grimy handshake on oath, smeared with the city sin, yet my cufflinks gleam pristine as I pull the wind, dodging the peeler's gaze with the tip of my hat, whispering scandals that could topple the fat cats. Dirt under nails, perish the four old sport, alarmed at my schemes with the gentleman's comport. From council estates to the penthouse intrigue, I rap the real, no just a league of forgotten souls, grinding against tyranny's wheel. The veins, but proper in my stride, dirty deeds done with the monocle's pride. Spit fire from the fog, unbowed and untamed, slends the reach to get the chains, let the chains, let the chains. The estate towers, riddled with despair's rot, where lads hustle hard, dodging the copper's plot. I pen verses in velvet, sipping tea mid the fray, critiquing the woke folly that leads youth astray. Sanctimonious suits preaching from ivory spires, while we scraping the muck, fueling our fires. Bootleg brews and backroom best the dirtiest trade, but I articulate the outrage, sharp as a blade. No censorship here, chap. Let the raw truth pour from our name. Battles to political war, technology's grip, a double-edged sword so keen. I navigate the net, unseen and serene. Grimy beats drop like thunder in the night, yet my flow's refined, a gentleman's delight. For a rolling from we flame feet, we wallow with dirt, yet aspire to be free. Tiring these chains, grab tip for like the skies, but slender seas through with discerning eyes.
Yep. Well, welcome, Chikoi. Yep, for some reason my chat is not showing on screen. I'm not sure why. The source is there. I refreshed it. The chat is working. Yeah, I can see your chat. It's working and showing up on the regular dock thing, which is odd because it should be showing up on screen too. They both pull from the same source of where the chat comes from. I could try refreshing it again. Oh, my notification thing should... Oh, I forgot I need to make that bigger because I can't even read it. No, my voice did not change. I did mess with my audio settings at some point. Make sure everything sounds nicer and crisper. And I do have a secondary audio setting for if I decide to do karaoke stuff. But other than that, no, my voice is exactly the same. Just might sound slightly different because of the changes I made to audio stuff. Ah. We don't want that. We're not very young. We're quite old. But yeah, I also started kind of late today. Wasn't had a bit of a tiring day, so woke up multiple times and should have probably stayed up earlier, but kept falling back to sleep. I got a couple things up. I saw they seemed interesting. Maybe we'll play a little bit of, because I got Clone Hero working again, because we're not going to say I'm stupid, but my songs were not deleted. To just put it simply, my songs were not deleted. There's a lot of speculation and rumors going on regarding Charlie. We talked about it on UPoll the other night. Was it the other night? Well, it was last week now, because it was on Wednesday last week instead of a Thursday because of everything that happened. But I'm one of the people that likes to wear a tin hat a lot of the time, most of the time. But for me to completely go into the side of the tin hat wearing, I need to have some kind of solid evidence to go off of, which in this one, there's nothing solid yet. It's too early right now. I mean, there's a lot of weird things around it, but the majority of the the official story does seem to make sense, at least right now. Everything fits in place with it. So I still have my theory hat on. I will always have my theory hat on. That never really goes away. But do I think it was Israel? I'm not sure. It's hard because he did go pretty hard against Israel, but he also had a lot of Israel connections, like including his own bodyguards. So that one's a little difficult there. And Israel thinks of him as a great friend as well. Oh, George Zim. Wait, he had CP? I've seen that George Zim guy show up before. I think he was something to do with I forget what it was. I think I've seen him show up before though. Huh. I never really looked into him. I just heard about how he was the one claiming that he shot Charlie and they arrested him initially. But then he was the one that was let go. So that's all I really know, kind of, about that situation. But yeah, I can look it up. Well, Departed, if you... Oh, shit, that's right. My chat's not showing on screen, so if you're not in the same chat, then obviously you will see that it will look like that I am streaming to 0. But I am not. You can look in the top corner. I am not streaming to 0. Okay, enjoy. So we're going to get back into... depending on how quickly... Because these are the ones that interested me. This one's probably just going to be... pure slop because it's diesel patches, and you know, our friend Diesel likes to pure slop. So we're going to see here, this is a Ryan Long video, which Ryan Long's funny as hell, so this is going to be, I'm pretty sure this is going to be comedic. If it's not, I'm going to be quite upset.
As someone who disagrees,
holy shit, that is loud. Okay, hold on. Let me turn this down a little bit for me because this is loud as hell.
with him, obviously I disagree with him on everything, although we didn't see eye to eye.
Oh.
As someone with a differing opinion, almost everything. Should I get specific with the things I disagree?
This is an actor, not sure if Charlie Cook post has enough okay, yeah, okay. So it's an actor trying to post about Charlie Kirk, and they have to make sure they have enough qualifiers so that they don't seem like they're on his side, but and disagree with him, but still sad about his passing, right? Wait, did any actors actually say they were sad about his passing other than... I think it was just Chris Pratt. Other than like the more outright conservative actors. I have to look that up because I don't recall seeing much of anything from them. Did Chris Evans say something too? I have to look that up because I heard about Chris Pratt saying something because apparently he's getting backlash for it. But maybe Chris Evans does kind of seem like he would be like that, the type of person too. I'd have to look into it though. It's very hard to share any type of like conservative values in the acting industry, voice acting included, because the fact that it's completely filled with like progressives and liberals. And they will completely shut you out if you even hold a slight right-wing opinion in any way, shape, or form. It's well, I mean, unless you're big enough, then they can't really stop you, you know, like some of the actors out there like Kevin Sorbo and everything that are pretty right-wing, but you know, I forgot my music is still back. All right, so we don't need our backing track right now. There we go. All right, let's get back to this. So let's see how Ryan Long's actor character is going to make sure he gets all those qualifiers.
Agree with him on. So what I want to do is make my post that people shouldn't be killed for their opinions, but figuring out the perfect amount of qualifiers to include has been near impossible. Political violence on all sides needs to stop. Like, essentially, I want people to know that I'm good.
That's one of my favorites. The political violence on all sides needs to stop. Look, I will completely agree with that type of sentiment in general, but we can clearly see there is one side that is much more violent than the other these days, and it's pretty common that they are. So when anyone makes that type of statement, it just rings hollow to me. Because let's if we're on a specific side, let's focus on our side first. I'm not on a specific side, okay? That's why I don't care. I mean, I care, but I don't care to step in there myself. And even if I do, most people don't listen to me anyway because they assume I'm on the opposite side. What'd you say? One funny thing that came out of Kirk's death was the amount of people losing their jobs. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that stuff is funny. I mean, some of them have been even filming their reactions and everything to when they lose their job, which is just icing on the cake. So yeah, that's all hilarious. Now, people like to complain about the whole freedom of speech thing, and I have to say, I'm sorry, but you're showing a complete lack of empathy or sympathy, anything relative to, you know, showing compassion to other people when you're celebrating a man's death, especially a man that has never raped anyone, never murdered anyone, never bad touched any children. But, you know, those are pretty much like the only three things that I can think of that I would be like, you know, death is kind of deserved. Beyond that, I can't really justify killing someone even over ideas, because we all have vile ideas, especially if we decided to actually dig in and talk about them. Humanity itself has pretty much violent ideas at their core. But what Charlie did was something that actually gets past that when people sit there and actually have a discussion, whether it's uncomfortable or not. I mean, unless you're just purely violent, which it's shown that a lot of these people have just been bred to be purely violent at this point, which is pretty sad. But I don't disagree with getting fired, because that's part of the social covenant. That's not a government aspect. It's not infringing on your freedom of speech. You're able to say exactly what you want whenever you want. But as they say, the freedom of consequence part, that's nothing to do with governmental. It's societal. Kill the most moderate one because he's the one that's most public, out in the open all the time. Even though they tried their best when it comes to security, there's only so much you can do when it comes to outdoor things with security and everything. But yeah. And killing the most moderate one is not the smartest thing. All it's done is it's bred thousands of more Kirk-like people. Milo Yiannopoulos, or Milo Yiannopoulos. I forget if he pronounces it Milo or Milo. But he's coming out of retirement, so good luck, everyone. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me find something real fast, because there's actually, I'll find it after this video, because this is only 1 minute 54 seconds, so.
Because I'm against murder, but I'm also good because I disagree with them. Guns are bad. It's something that says, I care, I have empathy, but also if you disagree with them on anything, that's none of my business, you know? Like, well, I don't know, do we know anyone with empathy? What did they post? Although I disagree with them on 90% of things, to 99% of things. Did I wait too long, even? I mean, I'm not touching Israel stuff with a 10-foot pole. Now the right's figured out how to get fired too, which is another layer of complication.
What do you post would you actually think?
Why'd you grow the f up? What are you, retarded? The goal of social media is to say the least amount possible while also not saying something when you're supposed to say something. Why don't you talk to me when you understand social media? Like, I want to...
That's a very accurate description of social media. Especially when it comes to corporate social media and actors, other celebrities. That is a scarily accurate description there.
To feel compassionate. This fitness influencer went with all this evil makes me sick. That's kind of pretty good, I guess. Sort of. No, she's getting fucking crushed. Mitchell Robinson just feels bad for the family, and he's getting fucking killed. Kristen Chenoweth says, I'm so upset. Didn't always agree with him, but appreciated some perspectives. She's in a fucking shitstorm right now. Even though I think he's bad news. No. You know, it's times like this I question if I even want to be an actor. You're screwed. So then you disagree with him? Do you even know what a qualifier is? Why didn't you have that energy for the last 45 tragedies? Delete your other tweets before they can get you on the hypocrisy. Maybe we should do a video where you cry. No, that's crazy. We're not going to cry. Think. It sounds like selective empathy to me. Time is...
I don't doubt that actors put themselves through this. Especially a lot of the actors I know. I don't doubt it.
Running out. Rabbi Shmuley's using this to raise money. Maybe that could be you. You could get rich off this. Everything is...
Maybe I could get rich off this.
Although I disagree, dying is bad. Sent.
Oh my. That was probably going to be the most... No, that post definitely would have still been very controversial if somebody, especially an actor, put that. Oh boy. Okay, that was funny. That wasn't super, super duper hilarious, but it was crazy the amount that he put into that, the thought of that. Do we know anyone with empathy? What did they post? That was a good one. All right, let me see if I can find real fast the other thing. The one where he was making fun of Diddy. I probably have seen that. I watch like all of Ryan Long's comedy videos when they come out. The Babylon? I don't know. Oh, Babylon B. I follow both. I haven't seen much from Babylon B lately. They might be getting suppressed on like X. Let me see here. Oh, I found it. I found it. Okay, so hold on a second. I'm going to add this.
My position is very...
This is going to be for those that don't know, Mr. Yiannopoulos, you will, don't worry. So let me just turn this down a little bit, so because this is loud as well. But this is the guy.
My position is very simple. There are just 3 genders. There's man, woman, and retarded. This young man is retarded.
So that's who's coming back out of retirement, thanks to all the shit with that happened. So yeah, people don't know what's going to, people don't realize the shitstorm that they started brewing. I don't know. There's a lot of people that are like friendly with Fuentes, even if they're like not completely ideologically compatible. So because Fuentes is still on the conservative side, technically, he's just kind of extreme. But I don't know. It's a possibility, though. But they got him, Fuentes, plenty of other people, Shapiro. It's not going to go well for the progressives, the liberals anymore. They pretty much gave up any chance of ever winning a debate in regards to what Charlie talked about. They gave that up when they decided to use a bullet. And there's still a lot of, uncertainty with the actor or the person who did do it, that they got in custody and everything. I don't know if Shapiro is the leader of the Charlie movement. Those are just the prominent names that are out there right now. But honestly, Yiannopoulos has a good chance of just taking over the movement. He kind of took it over when he was not retired. Like, he had a big following, so I'm not going to put it past him. Shapiro has a pretty big following, but not everyone. There's a lot of people that follow Shapiro that disagree with him. So, but not on everything, of course. Shapiro's too hardcore Israel for me. Which, I mean, yeah, we can say Israel is like America's greatest ally, kind of. In a sense, they technically are. They pay us the most. They have... I don't think they've really done much else. They give us money. They give us the most money. I have to look into it to see. I'm pretty sure they've done other things in regards to like defense and stuff, but it's not going to be as much, obviously, comparatively to what America does for everyone else. Because America's daddy in this of the countries. Daddy of the world. Everyone looks to us. So I'm not sure where things are going to go now, but it's definitely going to go crazier. And there's a lot of people that even moved parties completely over because they're tired of seeing how people acted and everything the way they did when it came to Charlie. This one's going to be a similar... Oh yeah, of course it's just getting started. Remember, we're still also only in the first year of Trump's presidency. Things are just beginning. I probably should not have looked at the comments before watching this video. Okay.
The political divide is too big. We must split the country in half. Civil war is on the horizon. Sadly, this is in our near future, and we must stand and fight. Hashtag not a bot. Hey man, are you?
Who are you?
I'm the DoorDash guy.
Oh, awesome.
I want to make sure I got your order right. Panda Express rice and double orange chicken, crumble cookie, Starbucks.
The Panda, it's half rice, half chow mein.
Was that specified in the order?
Yeah, I specified pretty clearly.
Okay, yeah, no, it's half chow mein.
Wait, the whole thing, or just...
No, it's like 50% orange chicken, 25% rice, 25% chow mein.
Good.
And then the grocery order, blueberry Pop-Tarts. They didn't have any strawberry.
Did you check?
Yeah.
Because they always have strawberry. That's like their most popular flavor.
Yeah, they were out today.
Did you ask the people who work there?
And then the Fruit Loops, 2% milk, frozen hash browns, Tylenol, and baby wipes.
Okay, you can just leave it on on the floor or something.
Hey man, so you didn't put a tip in the app?
What? I got a tip. No, I did. I will double check after you leave. That's crazy.
Okay. In the words of General
He didn't put a tip in the app.
George S. Patton.
Oh shit, that was the end of it. Okay. So, yeah, I probably should not. This is crazy. You know what? It makes sense. That's going to be the people calling for civil war these days. Getting their DoorDash delivered to them and everything. Probably going through exact same, not exactly the same, obviously, but yeah. I like man carrying thing. Why am I not subscribed to him? I thought I was. Oh shit, was I subscribed to Ryan Long? I should be. I don't know. YouTube's very weird. But I do also have other accounts, so it may be that I'm subscribed on my other account and just forgot to subscribe on this one. Oh, yes. Irina. Yeah, we talked about that as well. Yeah, that is another very sad situation. It seems like it seems like that one was racially motivated because of the aftermath. He's literally on video with audio recording going, "I got that white girl." And it's extra sad because of the fact that, yeah, she was a Ukrainian refugee. trying to get away from, you know, the horrors and wars over there, and she ends up getting killed here. It's a very, very sad situation, and something that shouldn't have happened. And of course, the guy was a career criminal. He was let go 14 times before this. I have to look into it to double check, but I was hearing that he was apparently let go again after this. So, clap, 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 justice system. There we go. Yay, America. But yeah, it was an awful situation. It's still an awful situation, especially if he got let go. So that's something I have to double check into, because something needs to happen with whoever keeps letting this idiot go, which from what I remember, it was a specific judge that oversaw all of his cases previously. Wait, hold on. The judge that freed him doesn't even have a degree? I'm pretty sure that's not how it works. You have to at least have a background in law to even be appointed as a judge. So you have to have a law degree. Usually you have to be a lawyer, at least to some degree, before you can be a judge. I might have to double check that. But last time I looked into this, I'm pretty sure that's what it said. Wait, what do you mean a certain man was killed by a cop? Who's a certain man? Oh, wait, are you talking about George Floyd? Yeah. So that's another situation where we're not given everything exactly how it is, I could say, because if you look at the coroner report, it's very weird because they will say he died due to the strain on his neck, like in the summary. But when you actually go through the document and read it, it literally says that the only reason that he was no longer able to, because of the stress after being high on methamphetamine and fentanyl and being put in a proper police hold for the situation, that stress is what made it where he died. The stress of the situation, which means he was just too high. All of the things were changed in the judges' jobs too, and most of the left got jobs after police brutality. Most didn't have a degree and kept freeing criminals. I'd have to look into that, because that is that's a pretty crazy accusation if true. If a bunch of people just got into criminal justice and didn't really have degrees. Although we can say they could still have gotten degrees, because you have to remember DEI has been in place, affirmative action and all that. So they could have easily gotten degrees and just not been qualified. That could always be the case as well. I mean, we've seen that plenty of times already as it is. And Charlie has even touched on this stuff, and people have made this into a whole racial issue, because he was making the point. Oh, so the judge that freed him? Yeah, I'll have to look into that for sure, because that's crazy. But Charlie even talked about this type of stuff when it came to DEI, and this is one of the quotes that people try to misquote him on. They tried to say how shit. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can really fast. I'm gonna see if I can find the quote. Basically, it was the quote about black pilots, or black female pilots, something like that. And he was like, the quote is something like, you know, he wouldn't fly, he wouldn't feel safe flying on a plane that was being flown by a black pilot, a black woman pilot or something like that. I don't remember the exact quote. Can't remember it off the top of my head, but it was something along those lines that people tried to misrepresent as a racist quote. But it's literally him talking about DEI and the negative effects of it and what it does to people. It causes resentment. And what did it do? It caused resentment. Because instead of looking at people's merit, you know, the content of their character, we're looking at skin color. We're looking at where are you from in the world, not, you know, what can you actually do? And that was the point of that quote there, that people keep trying to misrepresent that. And that's another problem with that I'm hoping that might get fixed soon, is the whole aspect of just constantly misrepresenting or lying about people and getting away with it. But, you know, we'll see. Censorship is a hell of a beast. But speaking of, I'm pretty sure this is still part of the situation because this is about Destiny, this next video. Oh no. All right, I can just tell this is going to be bad reading this. I can tell this is just going to be bad just reading this part here. Like, Steven's shown that he's quite retarded plenty times over. But if he's actually saying this, God, okay, let's watch it.
You've been quite active on social media since Charlie Kirk's death. When Erica Kirk posted Charlie's coffin, you responded, she tagged him, brackets, crying face emojis. In response to Alina.
Are you serious right now? Yo, you know what? I actually saw this post and I scrolled past it because I was like, I just didn't want to deal with it at the time. This is bad. Honestly, Steven's gotten much, much worse. And I don't think he realizes that the super edgy whatever, I'm not sure if it's just a personality with him type of thing, like an act, but this is not going to go in his favor the way he's keeping on. He got cucked and tried to cope his way to the top to own the haters. Are we talking about Steven? Because he went to the top before he got cucked, or before it was known that he got cucked and had all the haters that got on him for that reason. Because Steven built himself up first playing StarCraft and stuff, things like that, streaming that. He was a competitive, he was a pro gamer. I don't remember when he got into politics. I think it was like, I think it might have been 2020s COVID area. It might have been before that, actually. No, it was before that. Because he was talking about Trump in the initial... So, probably 2010s. I don't know. When was Steven born? He's probably like close to my age. So, probably like 2010s. He did a whole Bible? I haven't heard of that. That's I'm sorry. You're never going to be seen as a cool guy if you're a cuck. That'll never happen.
Haber's tweet ordering people to fly their flags at half-mast in memory of Charlie. You posted on X buying flags and polls.
Last year. Wasn't last... Actually, I don't remember much of last year. Oh, could be. Could be. All I remember much of last year with Steven, a lot other than his like edgy bullshit, is trying to deal with that whole lawsuit, which I don't even know how that's going to go anymore at this point, because that's gotten kind of crazy with everything going on. So we'll see how that goes. But one of the co-hosts on UPaul is a big Destiny fan, or not so much of Destiny fan, but he's a fan of the content. So we talk about Destiny quite a bit.
Just to fly them fully erect. And you then posted yesterday, ending every conservative debate call out I do in 2026 with.
Okay, so that was highly disrespectful, talking about that you're going to buy flags and poles just to fly the flag fully erect. That's, yep, okay. That's very disrespectful. Yeah, his son is funny. It's actually hilarious how his son has gone like very anti-Semitic, which is like completely opposite of him. But his son also like basically calls him a cuck from what I've seen. I don't know. His son is funny. Nathan is funny. Ending every conservative debate call out I do in 2026 with don't dodge, bro. That's not what Charlie would have wanted. Oh my god. He's really trying to downfall his I mean he's trying to shit. Messed up my words there. He's trying to speed run his downfall. At least it seems like it.
Don't dodge, bro. That's not what Charlie would have wanted. I mean, do you think that your response to the cold-blooded murder of Charlie Kirk has been appropriate?
Yes.
No, it hasn't. Just like your response to the kids dying, just like everything that you respond to, it's not appropriate.
I think that the only way this country moves forward into a better world is when conservatives can finally realize that they need to turn the temperature down on their side.
Oh, he is straight retarded. He doesn't realize he is a part of the problem. But then what do you expect? He's super ego.
We are 10 years into whatever this Trump madness is, and there is not a single mainstream conservative that will call for a lowering of the temperature on their side. I think that liberals need to wake up and finally realize that if they're not willing to do it, it will never come down. If you wanted Charlie Kirk to be alive, Donald Trump shouldn't have been president for the second term.
You are really, really trying to destroy your reputation at this point, aren't you? This needs to go in my politics chat, my UPaul, because yeah, that's one of the things I don't. So one of my friends will say that he thinks Destiny is a great debater. I disagree with that because, like you said, Destiny is just a debate bro. He doesn't actually debate. He sits there and shouts over you. He tries to talking point over you, tries to get his licks in, make sure that he wins. Charlie wanted to have an actual conversation. Like that's all Charlie did. And a lot of the time he even let people, like you said, he will let people speak over him. Like he will let people speak over him. He will let them basically interrupt him for the most part and cut him off when he's in the middle of trying to get his idea across. So, yeah. Okay, anyway. That was awful. I don't know why he would think that would have been. Don't know why he would have thought that would have been smart at all. Because that really wasn't. Oh boy. Alright, let's yeah, we'll do the more serious stuff first, and then we'll get into some of the, you know, the slopic stuff.
Ellen Teen Titans.
This one I'm concerned about hearing about, but we'll see. Then we'll get into the you know, the jokey ones after that. But first things first, let's go over. So, one interesting thing, if you haven't heard, Ellen DeGeneres fled the country a while back. Well, you don't have to pick someone to be like a complete fan of or anything when it comes to politics. You could easily just be like that you don't care. Or you just pick and choose based on policy. That's what I do. Because I'm a libertarian. So, and I don't completely follow my party. I mean, I guess I do. Kind of. Not completely, though. So I don't completely follow my party in that regard. But I am a libertarian. And, so I will listen to all the different sides. I will pick and choose based on policy and ideology what works best for me. And I guess it works because, well, honestly, most of the time conservative values tend to be what makes more sense. But there are, of course, some things that I lean more left on. But it's not like that much. But yeah, you don't have to pick a grifter. You could just watch everyone, and then just make a more informed decision from that. They'll try to. I mean, they've already tried to make out like Asmongold and Tectone are right wing and everything, but to me, they're pretty far left when it comes to American politics. So people just don't like them because they just speak their mind and they call out stupidity when it's actually stupidity. And people don't like when their stupidity is called out. The famous aspect only really matters if they are directly involved in politics, which most of them aren't. Like, that goes as well for even like Charlie Kirk. He wasn't like directly involved in politics. He was directly involved in the conversation of politics. Exactly. I do have to say, though, there have been very many libertarians that have moved to being full Republican, especially after the situation with Charlie Kirk now. But even before then, they were moving to full Republican. Even though ideologically they're still libertarian, they've just been registering Republican because they've been winning seats in different states and in the government itself as Republican instead of running as libertarian. Like Scott Presler, he's doing a lot of like conservative stuff, but he like started as libertarian and he like just became complete Republican. And now he goes around and still does a lot of work for Republicans. He is another one. He's a huge cornerstone. Honestly, he puts himself out there too. I don't think he does like a whole lot of like videos and live streaming and stuff because he's a pure politician. Like, he's an actual politician. So it makes more sense. It does make sense for him not to do that as much, but he needs to be careful too because he does go out there himself quite often. anyone that's considered right-wing and any type of notoriety needs to be careful out there. I mean, people in general need to be careful out there. The world is crazy. But yeah, this whole thing also with Ellen, apparently she's getting sued. And if you haven't heard, she fled the country because of, you know, a bunch of stuff came out about her. So, I wonder what the update is on that. Hey, Tozy is going to tell us.
DeGeneres is now being sued for negligence after she allegedly ran a stop sign and T-boned
Wait,
a woman's
negligence?
Tesla. So,
No
even after moving
way.
across the world, it seems like
She T-boned someone's Tesla? That's insane. Okay, let's see.
Ellen, for some reason, is having a hard time avoiding American headlines. Except for this time, she isn't being called out for being a shitty boss. She's being called out for T-boning an innocent woman in her Tesla. Because I guess who needs stop signs when you can just plow into another vehicle? Not very generous if you ask me. But hey, this is very unfortunate for Ellen, as the last few years she's been under scrutiny for a numerous amount of controversies. The main one being that she creates a toxic work culture and that she doesn't really live up to the whole be kind mantra that she preached on for decades on TV.
I've heard so many stories from people that worked with her. It's wild how she put on this persona on TV for so long, but was literally this monster basically behind the scenes. It's insane. It's wilder than most of the Hollywood stories I've ever heard.
V.
Here's the thing. I'm friends with George Bush. In fact, I'm friends with a lot of people who don't share the same beliefs that I have. When I say be kind to one another, I don't mean only the people that think the same way that you do. I mean be kind to everyone.
But before
you
all
lie.
that, Ellen was mostly a beloved comedian, talk show host, and maybe more notably, the voice actor of Dory in Finding Nemo.
Want a piece of me? Yeah.
Oh, I forgot she voiced Dory. Well, to be fair, I've known people that look like her and they're not like super crazy. So it's not like that's a, you know, a tell-all. I've seen people that look like her, style like her, and they aren't like completely crazy. So it's not, that by itself isn't really, you know. But you're not wrong. I mean, that was part of the shtick though too. It's the crazy comedian lady.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm scared now. What? Wait a minute. Stop following me, okay?
But a lot has changed since the infamous Oscar selfie has been taken, back when Ellen was actually in the good graces of the general public. But I mean, in the years since, Ellen has had such a fall from grace so monumental it should be studied. It's a good lesson in showing up for people.
It really should.
If Ellen showed up to, what's her name, Dakota James's birthday party, she would have still been on TV.
Oh, yeah, right.
Doing. Hosting her show and conducting hidden camera experiments designed to humiliate her audience members.
So before the show, I put out some Ellen products with a sign that said only one per person. And I just wanted to see how honest my audience was, you know, because it turns out you're very honest. Any of you could have taken more than one thing, and you didn't, except for these ladies right here. So what is your name? Nancy. Nancy. Oh, Nancy. You're the kind of person like when you go trick-or-treating and nobody's home, you don't just take you take the bowl. You just walk away. No, you go sit in that Ellen jail over there right now. What's your sister's name? Anna. All right, well, Anna got you in big trouble.
That is such a fascinating.
That's just weird to do. The allegations Epstein never had an island or did anything bad. Would you trust him with your child despite him looking innocent but looking like the usual? No, he had no children and he was an old man. That was just an odd question, Chikoi. You're telling me you would trust you're telling me that needed to be asked, that whether or not a child would be trusted with an old man that has no children of his own? That's not your family? Or, you know, someone that you've grown up with as a close family friend and know them pretty much inside and out? Yeah, looks aren't everything, though. Looks are an indicator of what to be visually suspect of. But that doesn't always mean that looks are an indicator that you need to be completely afraid or whatever. But even without looks, you just need to be wary. I mean, you want to talk about looks? Let's go in the reverse direction and bring up, you know, like Ted Bundy. No, you didn't destroy the mood. I'm just questioning where exactly you're going with the looks aspect, because like I said, look at some of the serial killers throughout the years and everything, like Ted Bundy. I mean, looks don't necessarily mean anything. Like Ted Bundy looked like a clean-cut young man, charming young man type of person, other than the eyes that I've seen in some of the photos, but beyond that, he just looks like a normal young man, clean-cut young man, you know? That's not something you would expect. It's just people in general you have to be wary of. If you don't know them, you should always be wary of people.
Use of being a show host. Why would you ever want to humiliate an audience member of yours? Like, she literally made her audience member go sit in Ellen jail. Imagine traveling far and you're excited.
Oh, she did. Well, no, I wouldn't say signs that she was doing like something crazy behind the scenes, but everybody has, you know, different life behind the scenes. I would say, however, I didn't see stuff like this, but doing hidden camera stuff, experiments on your audience, that's a bit wild. I didn't really watch Ellen. I think my mom did. I'd have to double check. I was not really much of an Ellen watcher, though.
To sit in the audience and get free merch, only to be portrayed as like some damn Daniel of being greedy and dishonest. Are you serious? But unfortunately for Ellen, she just kind of had this like death by 1,000 cuts, because nothing like truly insane happened. It was just a bunch of moments that made people go, yeah, that's kind of weird. Why would she do that to someone? But it's safe to say in recent years, Ellen has been laying low and trying to avoid drama as much as possible. She also literally moved across the world to England. So for most, she's...
Yeah, I was about to say she moved away to avoid the drama because wasn't going to not keep up with her if she stayed here.
Kind of been out of sight, out of mind until this week, as she's now being sued for negligence after allegedly running a stop sign and T-boning another driver back in 2023. The woman, whose name hasn't been released, claims she stopped at a four-way intersection and made sure there was no other vehicles present before driving forward. That's when DeGeneres allegedly and suddenly, without any warning, collided into her vehicle and T-boned her, causing injury. So I mean, since this was 2023, Ellen probably was rushing to work to scream at some intern for her new Netflix special. We'll get into that later on. But the lawsuit does go on to further accuse Ellen of exhibiting negligent behavior or conduct that fell below the standard of care of a reasonable person. So they're basically saying that Ellen wasn't paying attention to the laws of the road, and her negligence in this case, ignoring a stop sign, caused an accident. There isn't too much public information on the severity of the accident itself or the specifics of this woman's injuries, but the lawsuit does state that she suffered multiple serious personal injuries and damages as a result. Hold up. I'm just making literally the best sugar-free lemonade I've ever tasted. Yes, this is sponsored, but prove me wrong. Actually, I can prove you wrong. You can literally order a free sample pack. No payment details needed. You can get a free sample pack with free shipping on GamerSupps.gg/Atozy. So if you don't believe me they have the best sugar-free lemonade, I can literally prove you wrong. But if you actually do believe me and you want to get a tub of lemonade or any of the other flavors on the website, it's like $40 for one tub, which is 100 servings. So it's like 40 cents per serving. Plus, with my code Atozy, you get 10% off. So I don't really see a loss here. So I'd heavily recommend you go into Game.
I see a loss. It's an energy drink. I don't do energy drinks. They are bad for your heart. You know what? I don't know. Maybe one day we'll try it. How would that go, right? We'll see. We'll see. Maybe one day we'll try GamerSupps.
GamerSupps.gg/Atozy for 10% off or free sample packs if you want. And if you do end up buying something from the GamerSupps site, you will be supporting the channel heavily because I am trying to get my own flavor here. That's
you know, that's a possibility, but what doesn't these days? It's, you know, it's a good possibility. But again, what doesn't these days? Except for water, maybe, right? No, even water kills you. They put fluoride in water. Yeah, energy drinks, my family is known for some heart problems. Not like super major, but my family is it is known in my family for heart problems. So that mixed with energy drinks is not good. Last time I had a regular energy drinks actually don't really affect me that much unless I drink a lot of them, I think. Like I think if I drink like 2 or 3 of them in a short time. Oh yeah, of course. I have filters and everything too, but filters only remove so much, especially when it comes to stuff like fluoride. Doesn't really catch that type of stuff. But there was one time I had a 5-hour energy drink, I think it was, and oh man, that just felt horrible for the rest of the day. That was a very bad choice. Boiling water also only does so much. So what you would need to do if you want to, let's see, if you want to get rid of something like stuff like fluoride and everything from your water, you'd probably have to do a system where it evaporates the water completely, catches the steam, and then reliquefies it as a water separately. Because boiling water is just going to kill like contaminants and stuff. Filtration system is just going to keep out stuff like that. But when it comes to things like fluoride, it usually gets passed on that. So you would have to do. I think if you did it though, water from the rain. Well, yeah, because microplastics can get into like everything. So of course it's going to be into the environment entirely at this point. I don't know. I don't fully. It's hard to fully believe everything that is told to us as well, because of the fact that there are a lot of things that have technically existed for a long time that we just haven't been able to measure. So it's a bit of an interesting thing to learn about all this stuff. Although one thing we can measure is the drop of testosterone over the years. That is one thing we have been able to measure.
Currently my main dream. I just want to have my own flavor of a beverage. That sounds pretty awesome. And if you guys were wondering, I'm going to call...
You know what? I would love to have a flavor of my own for a beverage as well. It would be a type of tea. The Slender Society of Sirs brand of tea. Yes, that's what it should be. The flavor would be a distinguished exquisiteness. Like you're in a nice, soft lounge chair, relaxing in front of a fireplace. I'm pretty sure most humans in general have... Hold on, now I have to look that up. I'm pretty sure most humans in general have lead and mercury. Oh, no, no, I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, those are pure heavy metals. You can have lead and mercury in your body, but it by itself isn't going to necessarily do a bunch unless you have a buildup of them, because that's what contributes to poisoning. Yeah, your body doesn't always retain everything from whenever you do ingest it as well, so it could just be like temporary stuff. Temporary if you just don't get, if you consume a bunch of it in a short enough period or whatever, or within a certain time frame, because I have heard of people having lead or mercury in their body just nowhere near enough that it really did anything. So I wouldn't put it past. Humans are pretty resilient for the most part.
Call it memory lane melon, because I heavily like melon flavored stuff, and my whole branding is running down memory lane. So I guess regardless of what the injury was, she still likely had to deal with things like missing out on paydays because she was unable to work, and all the medical expenses required to deal with her injuries, not to mention that on top of all the financial burden of the accident. And the woman also allegedly struggles with loss of enjoyment of life, emotional distress, and anxiety. And I guess all of those things stacked on top of each other result in this woman suing Ellen.
That's not gonna go good for Ellen.
Undisclosed amount of compulsory damages. Naturally, people in the comments of these articles called this cash grab and question why this woman waited 2 years before finally suing. Honestly, that's a valid question.
That is a valid question.
To be fair, she could have just assumed that she would recover and be back to work in a couple months, and then
that's
things
true.
Didn't work out as planned. It's hard to really tell when you get.
It's hard to know without more of a direct statement or anything of the woman, or know the specifics of what's going on. Because what was the state of injury? Was she out of work and everything because of her injury and everything for so much longer than what she thought that she would have recovered? Because yeah, it could have been a situation like that. That's not. That in itself, yeah, it's a little weird, but still, I don't know. It could have been that it had to go through the process of trying to recover and everything first, making sure. So I'm not going to completely say one side or the other on that. If I find more information, though, of course, I can make more of a judgment.
Such limited information in the lawsuit, but also, is that a telling thing? Like, if she was seriously injured, would they not go into way more detail on how seriously injured she was? I'm just saying.
That's a good question too. I think usually they will go into more detail in a lawsuit, but I don't think they always will, if I remember correctly.
I've been sued before, and BitBoy was claiming emotional distress and lost pay and a lot of similar stuff to what she's claiming here. That's not me saying this woman's going for a cash grab here, but
right.
BitBoy was definitely going for a cash grab at me, or well, he was just trying to drain me of money at the time. And if you subscribe to my channel
of course.
the last 2 years, TLDR,
a lot of people tried that shit too.
Crypto bro 2 years ago decided to sue me. He didn't have a case, and he ended up withdrawing the lawsuit after he raised a whole bunch of money thanks to you guys. But I digress. Other people.
Biggest crypto bro tries to sue you? I've been watching you for a while now, Jose. I don't remember that. I may remember it, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Well, take care, Chicoy. I hope you have a good night. Put everybody in their place. But of course, it's always great having you. Hope to see you on the next one. I have to work tonight as well, but that's a bit later. So, but take care. And thank you for showing up, like you always do. You're a good one, a great one, a real one.
are currently speculating that the reason it took so long for her to file a lawsuit is because she may have been trying to settle it privately.
That is also true. She could have been trying to settle privately, which, if that had been going on, that wouldn't have been public, obviously. Probably could have been trying to settle out of court. Yep.
And after many failed attempts, she's now gone public. See, that kind of makes a little bit more sense. But if you have been keeping up with me for a while, you would remember that back in 2020, we covered her original first downfall. Actually, I made 2 separate videos on this topic. The first one was covering some of her scandals back then, and then the second one was the work environment. Because there was a ton of things that Ellen had done to piss off the majority of people during COVID, like cut a bunch of shows' employees' pay and compare her being quarantined in her beautiful home to being in jail.
One thing that I've learned from being in quarantine
I
is
remember
that people,
this.
This is like being in jail, is what it is. It's mostly because I've been wearing the same clothes for 10 days and everyone in here is gay.
It just kind of came across as out of touch when she was living here. But also, it was in a pandemic. This
Very
was
out of
everyone's
touch.
first pandemic, and most were scared and feeling cooped up. So at least we can cut her a little bit of slack there.
I guess you can cut her a tiny bit of slack there.
Still think it's kind of a scummy thing to cut all your employees' wages, but hey,
Yep.
I'm just saying I didn't. I actually
Very
increased
scummy.
wages. But I also do realize we have a very different show format. And honestly,
You have employees? No, you are kind of a big channel. I'm sure you do.
that was nothing compared to the toxic workplace claims that came out in July of 2020. Because multiple staff members came forward with various allegations, such as being penalized for taking medical leave and fear of retribution for raising complaints about working conditions. While no
Of course.
specific allegations were made against DeGeneres, one former employee alleged producers hid the toxic workplace complaints from the host. So I guess you could claim that you didn't know, but the show is literally named after you, and the whole show goes on about being super generous.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I doubt that she didn't know. Because she was also a big aspect of running her show herself. So, yeah, I'm not going to believe that one. But okay, sure.
It's just a massive juxtaposition. Then, after a couple failed apologies and attempts to sweep the article and growing rumors under the rug, the Ellen DeGeneres show ended up ending in July of 2022.
As you may have heard, this summer there were allegations of a toxic work environment at our show. And then there was an investigation. I learned that things happened here that never should have happened. I take that very seriously, and I want to say I am so sorry to the people who were affected. I know that I'm in a position of privilege and power, and I realize that with that comes responsibility, and I take responsibility for what happens at my show. This is the Ellen DeGeneres Show. I am Ellen DeGeneres. My name is there. My name is there. My name is on underwear. We have had a lot of conversations over the last few weeks about the show, our workplace, and what we want for the future. We have made the necessary changes, and today we are starting a new chapter. Today, I am announcing that next season, season 19, is going to be my last season.
And a couple years after that, in 2024, Ellen came out of the woodwork to release a comedy special titled For Your Approval. And in this special, she tried and she failed to laugh off the accusations about her workplace culture and
Of course.
wiggle her way back into people's good
I did
books.
not
And
watch
she
the special.
did actually respond to the rumors. And Ellen's version of the events includes her being kicked out of show business for being mean. She says on her own Netflix special. Okay, the top comment on the trailer also says that people think the audience are actors.
All right, well, let me catch up on what's been going on with me since you saw me last. I decided to take up gardening. I got chickens. Let me see what else I can tell you about that been going on. Oh, yeah, I got kicked out of show business. The Be Kind girl wasn't kind. That was the headline. Here's the problem. I'm a comedian who got a talk show, and I ended the show every day by saying, be kind to one another. Had I ended my show by saying, go f yourselves, people would have been pleasantly surprised to find out I'm kind.
Now, based on the trailer alone, I don't think anyone
Nope. That was such a bad way to play it off.
expected to be blown away by this, but her casual attitude about the serious allegations obviously rubbed a ton of people the wrong way. and public opinion of Ellen at this point was still not the best. And it kind of seemed like any hope for a return to the spotlight was over for her at this point. And after the results of the 2024 US election, Ellen and her wife, Portia, she stuck to her word and actually packed up and moved to the United Kingdom.
Whether you agree with her politically or not, she stuck to her guns. She is true to her word. She and Portia
That is one thing I can say she has respect from me for. She did actually stick to her guns, and when she said she was going to move, she moved. So, I mean, hey, that is respectful.
left the country. Days after the election, they bailed. They went to England. Now, they had a house that they already had a house. They had a house, but that
Yeah,
didn't
of
mean
course, they
were
already had a
living
house.
in the Cotswolds, and they made a decision, as our source put it, who is very connected to them, to get the hell out. And they did it days after the election. They live there now, and they're gonna sell the Montecito house.
And she states it was to leave behind the insanity of the US, but fans speculated that it was really just to get away from the negative press and let the dust settle. Because
It was both, because she's a liberal as it is because she's an actor. The majority of actors are liberals. Liberals and progressives. I can tell you that from first-hand experience.
believe it or not, My Only Crime Was Being Mean joke didn't really land that well with a lot of people. So I guess after living peacefully with her wife in the English countryside for over a year, I'm sure she thought she finally left her Hollywood lifestyle and all these scandals in the past. That wasn't until now, because the California legal system has just come knocking at her door. It's unclear if any more details will be released anytime soon, but I'd be surprised if Ellen didn't want to settle this privately and avoid having to return to California for what would obviously be a very public court case. For now, we'll have to wait and see if they'll actually settle or go to court. But if I would give Ellen any advice, I would take her own and just keep swimming. Or maybe to go to gamersubs.gg/Atozy and pick up the best sugar-free lemonade or any of the other flavors using code Atozy. And again, if you don't believe me the flavors are good, you can check out a sample pack, which is free. You don't even need a credit card or debit card or any payment options. Free shipping, literally a free gift from me. Link down below. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Subscribe if you're new. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video. Peace.
Well, if it's completely free, I might give it a shot. I don't know, though, because Gamer Subs, are they an energy drink? If they're an energy drink, I don't want it. I don't. Alright, so now we're gonna get into some of the slop. Some of the oh, you know what? First, let's see this, because this goes with what we were talking about earlier.
Okay, so this is happening in court now, folks. That is Tyler Robinson appearing via video link. Let's listen.
Holy shit.
Thank you for being here. So, Mr. Robinson, you have a right to an attorney.
All right, so we're going to see the first appearance since he shot Charlie.
If you cannot afford one, the court can appoint an attorney to represent you. I have reviewed your declaration of financial status and find that you are indigent. I'm provisionally appointing a Rule 8 qualified attorney to represent you on your case, Mr. Robinson. Along with the filing of their appearance of counsel, the assigned attorneys must file declarations with the court that outline their qualifications under Rule 8 and Rule 8C, under Rule 8B and Rule 8C for counsel appointment in a case where death may be a sentencing option. I'm ordering that those declarations be filed prior to the next hearing date, which is set for September 29th at 10 a.m. Mr. Robinson, I also wish to inform you of your right against self-incrimination. Anything that you say in court today could be used against you, and we want to protect your constitutional rights. Mr. Robinson, at this time, you will remain in custody without bail. Mr. Skordas, is there any other points that you wish to address?
No, thank you very much, Your Honor.
Turning to the state.
Yes, Your Honor.
Wow.
Chad Brunander for the state. I'm also joined, and they're listed as attendees, Ryan McBride, Lauren Hunt, David Sturgill, and Chris Ballard. We are the trial team on this case. I do have a few points I'd like to bring up with your honor. We have filed a pretrial protective order on behalf of Erica Kirk. We would ask the court to review that. It should be in your queue, your honor, and sign that.
Thank you. I have reviewed the pretrial protective order and will be issuing this pretrial protective order in favor of Erica Kirk. Is there any other business that we need to address today, counsel?
Just for the court's information, we did file just recently, within the last few minutes, a notice of intent to seek the death penalty that was filed by Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray. So that should be in the court's file. Lastly, I would just indicate to the court and to, at this point, Mr. Robinson, that we are prepared to collect all of the discovery in this matter and get that turned over to the defense as soon as possible. Rule 16 requires us to provide what we have relied on in charging the information and bringing these charges within 5 days once it's requested. So that'll be prepared to disseminate to the defense as soon as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Grander. Mr. Robinson, what I also want to do is you have the right to have the charges read that you stand charged of, and I wish to read those to you at this time.
Oh, yeah, the actual charges. Let's see what they are. Pretty sure I know what they are, though.
Mr. Robinson, for count 1, aggravated murder, a capital felony in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-5-202, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Charlie Kirk under the following circumstances.
Yep.
The defendant knowingly created a great risk of death to another individual other than Charlie Kirk and the defendant. Notice conviction of this offense may carry the death penalty or pursuant to Utah Code 76-3-207.7, a mandatory term of imprisonment for life without parole or an indeterminate term of not less than 25 years, that may be for life. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-3-203.14 sub 2. Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because of Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. Notice if the trier of fact finds beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim targeting enhancement applies, the sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider the defendant's selection of the victim as an aggravating factor. Violent offense committed in the presence of a child aggravating factor. The sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider
it's going to make it worse.
Aggravating factor in their deliberations that the defendant committed a violent criminal offense in the presence of a child. Count 2, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, a first-degree felony in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-11-210 sub 2 and 3C, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant Tyler James Robinson discharged a firearm in the direction of Charlie Kirk, knowing or having reason to believe that Charlie Kirk may be endangered by the discharge of the firearm and that the act caused serious bodily injury to Charlie Kirk. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-3-203.14
Oh my God.
sub 2.
Yeah, so this is more than what I thought. Jeez.
Kirk, because Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. Notice if the trier of fact finds beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim targeting enhancement applies, the sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider the defendant's selection of the victim as an aggravating factor. Violent offense committed in the presence of a child, aggravating factor. The sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider an aggravating
It's going to be
factor
found an aggravating factor.
that the defendant committed a violent offense in the presence of a child. Count 3, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-8-306 sub 2, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant Tyler James Robinson, with intent to hinder, delay, or prevent the investigation, apprehension, prosecution, conviction, or pursuant to any person regarding conduct that constitutes a criminal offense, conceal or remove the firearm used to shoot Charlie Kirk.
Oh.
The conduct that constitutes an offense
Okay.
would be a capital felony or a first-degree felony. Count 4, obstruction.
See, I didn't realize that that would have been a part of obstruction, but it makes sense, especially since the fact that, yes, he did go to hide his weapon and everything.
Of justice, a second-degree felony in violation of Utah Code 76-306, sub 2. In that on or about September 11th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, with an intent to hinder, delay, or prevent the investigation, apprehension, prosecution, conviction, or punishment of any person regarding conduct that constitutes a criminal offense, destroyed, concealed, or removed the clothing he wore during the shooting, and the conduct that constitutes an offense would be a capital felony or first-degree felony. Count 5, tampering with a witness, a third-degree felony in violation of Utah Code
Tampering with the
annotated
witness.
76-8-508.
Hello.
In that on or about September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, believed that an official proceeding or investigation was pending or about to be instituted or intended to prevent an official proceeding or investigation, and attempted to induce or otherwise cause his roommate to withhold testimony,
Oh.
document, or an item to wit, directing his roommate to delete incriminating text messages. Count 6, tampering with a witness, a third-degree felony in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-8-508.
Wow. So he tried to make his roommate. Okay.
2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, believed that an official proceeding or investigation was pending or about to be instituted or intended to prevent an official proceeding or investigation, and attempted to induce or otherwise cause his roommate to withhold testimony or information, to wit, directing his roommate to stay silent if the police questioned the roommate. Count 7, violent offense committed in the presence of a child, a Class A misdemeanor in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-3-203.10 sub 2.
See, I didn't know this stuff about how that he also apparently
in that on or about September 10th,
had his roommate
Utah County,
supposed to try and do all this
Tyler James
stuff.
Robinson committed criminal homicide in the physical presence of a child younger than 14 years of age, with knowledge that a child was present and that may have been seen or heard the commission of the criminal homicide. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-3-203.14 sub 2. Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because of Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. That concludes reading the information. Mr. Robinson, this case is set for September 29th at 10 a.m. It will be a waiver.
13 days. Okay.
And I will be the judge assigned to this case. Mr. Robinson, I invite you to join us at that time. Is there anything further, counsel?
No, yeah, we'll have counsel appointed by then. Thank you.
Mr. Gurander, anything further?
One item, just for clarification, Your Honor, the hearing on the 29th, is that in person or WebEx?
Thank you. That is a great question. It will be via WebEx.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
All right. I want to thank all parties for being here, and this concludes this hearing at this time. Court is in recess.
Well, that right there is Charlie Kirk's alleged killer, Tyler Robinson, who has just appeared in court for the first time since September 10, when Charlie Kirk was slain with one bullet.
Not much from there. Not much from there. Ah, but yep. They had the text, of course. All right, so let's see what Diesel Patches has today. Of course, it's Bella Ramsey. Oh boy.
So Bella Ramsey responded to the criticism directed towards the second season of Last of Us, which is still disliked and hated by majority of the audience. And she brings up an argument I'd like to get my thoughts on. Bella Ramsey recently did an interview, and when asked if she would like to give a message for the critics of season 2, she said, "I would say you don't have to watch it. If you hate HBO's version of The Last of Us, the game exists. You can just play the game again. You don't have to watch it, but if you do want to watch it, then I hope you enjoy it."
Why do they always do this? Why can't they just say, look, we put a lot of work into this. We're really enjoying the type of, or even if you're not, even if you like don't enjoy the project that you're working on, but you know that it's being a lot of work's being put in and everything, and you need, and it's like your job, you need it to go well. Why you just say something like, I hope everybody gives it a chance. You know, we put a lot of work into the season and everything. I hope everybody gives it a chance. Don't say this shit of, oh, if you don't like it, you could go play the game. You don't have to watch it. This is why people don't like you.
Essentially, it's the ye old argument of, if you don't like it, don't watch it.
Exactly
Here's the
it
thing
is.
to me. There's nothing inherently wrong with saying don't like it, don't watch it in certain contexts. For example,
in certain contexts, yes.
If I invest a lot of time in a TV show and it starts sucking towards the end, which leads to me complaining about it, the statement, don't like it, don't watch it, annoys me to no end. Because I would like to finish something I invest a lot of time in, and just because I have my gripes with the show doesn't mean I should just drop it altogether. My love for Game of Thrones
agree with you,
took a
yes.
nosedive on season 7, but that's
Yep.
not a good reason to completely drop it. It's not unreasonable for viewers to continue watching something because they want to see.
Wait, I never finished Game of Thrones. Whoops. I think the only one I haven't watched was season 8 though. So let's break some there, okay? I read the books. I know the books are not finished, but I read the books.
See how a story they've invested a lot of time in plays out, or how it ends. This argument is even used even towards something that doesn't require that much investment. I remember this same argument being made about The Acolyte, and how it was stupid for people to continue watching something they don't like, criticizing people for hate watching. Well, to me, you can't really give a product a fair chance if you can't even finish a season with less than...
Let me just also say, people were hate watching. Like you said, people were hate watching it. So some of us were watching it just to see it fail.
10 episodes, because if anyone were to critique the show after only watching 3 episodes, the argument would then get flipped back to, you didn't even give it a chance. Now, I'm not a fan of the video game version
That is true.
The second half of The Last of Us's story, so my expectations
Yeah, I'm not either.
were already pretty low for the second season, but I still wanted to give the show a chance. And holy shit,
I didn't.
it was somehow worse. The biggest change of having Ellie behaving like a carefree and upbeat companion while on a mission to avenge Joel makes her descent into becoming revenge crazy come off as incredibly forced. I enjoyed Ellie's character up until the end of the video game, Last of Us Part 2, but in the second season, she's obnoxious, immature, and comes off as spoiled. That's not really Bella's fault. The writers just gave her horrendous dialogue and character traits.
No, I would say it's partially her fault because she can't really act either. So let's call a spade a spade. And they also had the issue of they thought she was going to grow older, grow up to look older than like her character, to look more like her character. But no, she just looks young as shit.
I think the reason why people who dislike the second game watch the second season is because there was a little bit of hope, a tiny bit, that the show would reflect on the criticism of the second game and make positive changes.
They thought.
The first season had some pretty big differences already.
It did, yeah.
At least hoped for Joel to survive a bit longer, but nope. The writers
At
not only
least,
keep
right?
the same shitty decisions, but also add in a few terrible ideas of their own to finish off the shit pie. And
By the way, the character he was showing was Abby, who's supposed to be the one that kills Joel. If you've played the game, you know where I'm going with this.
Based off the current ratings, it would seem this entire project to recreate the TV show from the video game was pointless. Who is this show even made for now? Old and new fans seem to hate it. So in a way, Bella telling everyone to go play the video game instead is actually very sound advice. Stay away from this crap heap as best you can. It seems like Bella Ramsey's statement of just play the game is directed towards gamers because she's telling the viewers to go back to playing the video game if they don't like the show. Meaning this statement is directed towards people who already know the ending of the game. So yeah, and the difference between if you don't like it, don't watch it for The Last of Us, and the same statement being applied to a show like Game of Thrones, where viewers don't already know the outcome, is that I already know how The Last of Us 2 ends, so why would I sit through that shit again after witnessing the second season failing to learn from the poor writing decisions in the second game? This indicates to me that the third season will be no different. From a marketing perspective, it's probably not very smart for Bella Ramsey to tell viewers if they didn't like the second season, they should just go kick rocks and play the game instead. The point is to attract more viewers, but I think even Bella Ramsey knows she can't really say anything at this point to salvage the crumbs left over.
No, she can't. But you could just say something that's non-controversial. I mean, it's not that hard. Some people might still rag on you, but it's not going to be a controversy like this where you're just saying if you don't like it, don't watch it, like other people usually do.
After the drop in viewership from season 1 to season 2. I will say though, the statement, if you don't like it, don't watch it, being applied in this context actually makes sense. I would be giving Bella flack if she actually had any control of the writing in season 2 and the upcoming third season, because this statement would come off as a deflection for criticism, but what can she actually do about negative reviews? Bella Ramsey is merely playing the character of Ellie. It's not like she wrote season 2's horrendous dialogue and mediocre writing decisions.
So, yeah, I wouldn't even give Season 3 a watch, especially if you played Last of Us 2 and hated the ending. Based off Season 2, it would seem we're still going to get the same dumbass ending of Ellie murdering 50,000 people to get to the one thing she wants, but then suddenly stop herself from killing the one person everyone despises, because Neil thinks pissing off the audience is god-tier writing or something. I'm personally not going to bother with the show anymore, unless of course there's another banger scene like I'm gonna be a dad. At that point,
what? What the hell?
The scene cringe.
Was that real? Was that a real scene? Oh my, that couldn't have been real. That had to have been fake. Come on now. Oh no, it's a WestJet. Okay, what you got for us, WestJet?
Day for the unemployed. FaZe Clan is over. FaZe Clan drama explained. Temper versus Rain allegations. So
right, I heard about this. So I actually came across the post on this and I was like, wait, what the hell? What the hell's going on here? So, okay, so there's some crazy allegations with FaZe Clan going on. Someone's calling, you know what, we'll let WestJet go over this because WestJet's just funny.
Between these two 30-year-old man children. Yeah, so
I say that and he does that. Wait, WestJet, how old are you? 30-year-old man children. Wait, no, they are man children. Never mind. So the age part doesn't matter. And they're not 40 like the Genshin player, so.
FaZe Rain called Temper a file.
This dude looks me in my eyes and says,
Yep.
bro, I'm not gonna lie, I had a threesome with two 16-year-olds. I'm like,
oh. I didn't watch the video though. I just saw posts about this.
bro, what? Like, how could you tell me that? I'm not gonna be on a team with a. I'm not gonna be on a team with. I just refuse to. You know what I mean? He has to own up to that. I'm not even saying publicly, but within us, and just be 100, bro. Just be like, bro. And he did admit to it on the call, by the way.
To us, this is crazy, but the FaZe Clan, it's an average Tuesday, you know?
Damn you, WestJet. Yes, I would say that's pretty average for the FaZe Clan or a lot of influences, but holy shit. That's wild.
Just own up to it. We'll forgive you.
But again, he can deny it all he wants. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Just look at this dude. If an Indian scam center calls FaZe banks, the call will end with them being scammed. Before
That's
the
true.
accused even had time to make his video,
Oh,
Banks came
no.
out with a 9-minute response.
Oh no.
I'm not a pedophile. Rain is not talking about me. There, I got it out.
The FaZe mom.
Really?
Rain is referring to in that clip is Tommy. I know this because of a phone call we had between myself, Tommy, Apex, and Rain. To be clear, Tommy denied any wrongdoing and no conclusion was came to on that call. This all
What?
stems from a conversation that Norden and Tommy had between themselves one-on-one years prior. I'm sorry, if you're a FaZe fan in Big 2025, you're either like 13 years old or mentally handicapped. I feel horrible, man.
Yeah.
I wish it never happened. I'm sorry I didn't speak out sooner, but I hope you can understand that it's hard. I loved this guy. I was a huge fan of him growing up. I didn't know what to do. Part of the reason I left FaZe was because of it. I couldn't be side by side with someone who did something like that. I wanted to speak, but just felt so bad, and eventually I just couldn't take it anymore. Love you whether you understand me or not. Pushing 40 and saying I love you to strangers on the internet.
Okay, so you need to stop with the pushing 40. He's 29. He's pushing 30. Calm down, WestJet. Calm down.
Internet is crazy work. Like, I don't know any of you, but I do like donations and money and subscribers and views. Anyway, Temper, the accused, actually replied himself.
One day I go to New York.
Oh no.
And I go to this club that's 21.
This
plus,
is not sounding good.
And I link up with a buddy there, and he invites a couple girls, and I end up going back with these girls. We're all shit-faced, and I end up going back with these girls to my hotel room. I slept with one of them, and I found out after that this girl was 17.
Like, I don't even have to sit here and justify this age gap like Sneeko or something, being like, oh, it's okay in Saudi Arabia.
So if you're watching this in Saudi Arabia,
I feel like that's a detail that Rain omitted there. The junkie FaZe Rain made it sound like this dude was straight up on the flight logs, but this guy met the girl in a nightclub, so yes, that does in fact change things.
That does, in fact, change things, especially if it's a 21 plus nightclub, meaning that they use fake ID or whatever. I mean, that's a tough situation, and I would agree that a man should not be put in a liable situation like that when a woman, you know, a young woman, a minor, breaks the law. Like, what are you supposed? How else are you supposed to verify someone's age, right? But you could also just, you know, not sleep with someone when you're both shit-faced and just met them. That's another thing too. You know what I mean? There's the whole thing called dating.
I didn't even want to bring this up, Banks. I didn't even want to bring your name up in this, bro, but you made that video.
Dare I say Freudian
Oh,
slip.
jeez.
Banks was real scared. Bro is literally 40 doing this stuff. He's Tectone's age.
You lied in that video. You're making
Oh, there it
Bro, even
is.
that tweet that you posted under, I screenshot it in case you delete it because I just don't trust you, bro.
Trust FaZe Banks or draw 25?
I will draw 25.
Rug and Jev are like the only decent OG FaZe members.
This is so bad. He said he's gonna kill himself if this shit ever comes out, and that's why I feel extra bad, bro.
Wait, to add a little more
What?
context, FaZe Temper is currently a dad, and he came out as well with a couple of responses, and we'll check those out thoroughly.
The fact that I'm even having to respond to this and that my name is in the same breath as the word pal is so sick, twisted, and insane. This is disgusting. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not that type of person. I am the furthest thing from what you called me, and I will never be that person. It's so mind-blowing that someone that I really built a brotherhood with, someone that I really considered a brother, that I invited to my baby shower, that I always looked after and took care. And then when you were going through your darkest days, I was there for you and I was making sure that you were good.
I'm sorry, but FaZe Clan is so corny. If you think your homeboy's a pred, you should probably hit the police instead of
right
on Twitter to talk and
What is with everybody putting it on Twitter and YouTube if they think somebody's a predator instead of contacting the police? If you have some kind of evidence or proof that somebody's actually a predator, contact the police. And we're not talking about lolicon bullshit, because anybody that does that, you're going to be wasting police resources and they're probably just going to arrest you for that. Well, guess it depends. If you tell them straight up it's lolicon, they'll probably just call you retarded and hang up on you. But if they actually use resources and everything because you don't explain what it is and they find out it's just lolicon stuff, well, good luck with that one.
get some attention. Anyway, some funny DMs leaked of Temper from like 2012. Kid, you hang out with 16-year-old girls. Stop acting like a hard ass pedophile. Mind your own business. What if I like being a pedophile?
Whoa.
Lol, JK, man, pets are pussies. I'm just a rape.
But why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
I mean, okay, look, that's 2012. Those are edgy jokes, okay? Those are edgy jokes. So I mean that's not an end all be all there. That's some obvious joking. But people are so going to tie that to the situation as well.
It was 2012, and ironically, funnily enough, some messages leaked of FaZe Rain being weird as well. Adapt. Sister, though. I think the oldest
What the hell is wrong with these guys?
Something to say about the Tommy situation because he made a video confirming it, but the details did get switched a little bit because originally it was two 16-year-olds and it was a 17-year-old and one was watching, and now a 17-year-old and he didn't know her age. If you didn't know her age and you said that to us at least once, we wouldn't be here, bro. I would not have treated it the same way if you said you didn't know, because that changes everything. You never said that, not once. Literally not. That you didn't know, okay?
Does he know?
Does he know?
I'm not trying to make it about myself in any way, shape, or form. By the way, I don't want anything out of this. I love my life.
Who are you trying to convince, though? Us or yourself? Like, you love your life. Cool. I feel like that doesn't need to be stated.
Yeah, that does sound like you're just trying to like protect yourself when you say something like that.
Make it about me, even though I know me saying it's not fair to me makes it sound like it's about me. But I don't mean it like that.
Sure, buddy.
People still run on that drugs, and I was a pussy trying to kill myself, acting like I enjoy recreational drug use. You're an idiot. I work out every single day. I take care of my dogs every single day. I stream every single day. I work on every single day. Trust me, bro. I love who the I am. I love everything I've overcome.
Bro is throwing around some super serious
there's a
allegations and talks
weird
about
shit.
himself and his drug use and how much he loves his life right after.
Yeah, this is this is getting weird.
14 years old.
Okay, maybe not say that considering.
Oh my
You
god.
don't even understand the levels of damage that you just inflicted into my life, into my family's life.
This you? She was 13 turning 14 soon, so she pretty much 15, but 15 is the new 60. 79! Yesterday,
What
I watched
the
someone I once called
fuck?
brother go online, call me a pred, and laugh about it. Today, I was cut off the roster. Watching someone I once trusted turn something that serious into entertainment is evil. This isn't content. These lies have real consequences for me, my family, and my son. And instead of a call or text, I was just cut off the roster today. No conversation. And just did, he posted. I'm glad we can agree I don't deserve the label. Thanks for the apology, I guess. Thanks for ruining my life. Showing a video that Rain posted and ended up deleting.
But I do want to say this. I want to first and foremost retract the statement that I called him a pedophile, because that wasn't fair to do when they supposedly did not know this girl's age. I've known Tommy for 15 years. It's not like he ever went around preying on young girls or telling me he likes young girls or any of these things. So that's why I was such a shock when he told me what he told me. He just never told me that he didn't know their ages. If he did, it'd be a whole different story.
Then ask him. This guy's supposed to be your friend.
Yeah,
you
this
know,
is-
ask him for some details. Hands down,
this is
accuse
wild.
This guy of like the most serious crime in the world, aside from, you know, like being a Kai Cenat fan.
Whole different story if he didn't know their ages, right?
Yeah.
Whoa, calm down, WestJet. I don't know if. Okay, hold. You got me on that one. Being a Kai Cenat fan is definitely worse than being a predator.
Exactly.
And I never would have felt as deep about it as I did. And I never would have wanted him to step down in 2023 if he didn't know their ages. I thought he did know their ages. And then even when we talked about it after, he didn't say he didn't know their ages. And I don't know why. Sometimes, and also, I've known him, and then also with Emma bringing it up, he just sometimes sells the fucking bag. He just sells the bag when it comes to delivering all the right information. You know what I mean? He doesn't say it all the right way. You know, maybe he was frantic and just didn't know what to say or do, so he just withheld that information, which I don't think he realized would have not made me look at him in that light if he was truly ignorant to the fact that they were under 18.
Who even needs enemies when you got friends like Rain? Like, god
Holy
damn, bro
shit.
stabbed him in the back pretty much. And then he deleted the video for some reason.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if he knew that...
Yeah, why did he delete the video?
Or if I knew that, would be a whole different story. So, I do apologize for that. I do want to retract that label because that label...
See, chaps and chapettes, this is why you don't keep friends in times of war, or even without times of war. They can just give away your secrets and screw you
Get
over.
their reality TV garbage like Love Island, and this is what we get as men. We gotta step
Yeah,
up the
seriously.
production value here. Whoa,
Yeah, we need more
breaking
production value.
news. Alleged streamer FaZe Lacey had his
Oh,
opinion
boy.
on the matter.
Oh, did he really just call him an alleged streamer? Oh boy, WestJet, I love you.
FaZe Banks, FaZe Temper, do this, do that. Stop putting FaZe in front of people's names who aren't FaZe. So I'm tired of this falling onto us and our name getting dragged down and all the work we put in to build our group up to what it is right now because of old shit that we had nothing to do with.
Guy is genuinely so stupid he can't not be playing a character. You know what I mean? That's kind of what happens when you join a
Yeah,
team or organization. You gotta deal with the baggage. You joined the team and signed the contract despite their reputation.
Right,
You gotta
exactly.
deal with the consequences. But I don't blame you too much. FaZe Banks is like the greatest con man in history.
I slept with one of them, and I found out after that this girl was 17. And that's the age of consent in New York.
Bro knows off the top of his head, but like, why would you even mention that?
Hold on, yeah.
Regardless,
Why
I
did
was sick to my stomach.
why did you say that?
It was just extremely uncomfortable knowing that and thinking about the situation.
The girl is also kind of retarded for like going to a club like that and not disclosing her age when it's
Oh,
sorta
of
implied
course.
she's 21 if she's in a space like that.
So I just, this is something that is going to follow me around forever.
Everybody broke the law
It's
here.
just sick because people on the internet will take things and twist it into something that it isn't and just keep running with it.
Not gonna lie, I kind of feel bad for this dude. If this is indeed the case and he didn't know about her age and found out after, this kind of just shows that his friends are huge pieces of shit.
Yep.
My mentions like, yo, you a pedophile, dog? Nah, no shot. Not about to just like stay quiet. I've been too quiet for too long.
Please, for the love of God, just keep it that way.
Oh, yeah,
Even the
please just be
virgins on
quiet.
Reddit are calling out Rain. Every single time I see FaZe Rain go viral on my Twitter feed, it's a video of him saying, I'm gonna expose everything. I've been quiet for too long. There's so much shit I haven't said. I've been over LMA.
Like, really? Oh, jeez.
FaZe Clan. All my homies hate FaZe Clan. And I don't mean individuals. People like Jason are cool, and honestly, Adapt is a funny guy too. FaZe Clan used to be about gaming, and now it's like drama for prepubescent teenagers. You ruined your own life, to be fair. Even if you're at a club, you're pushing 30 with the online presence you have, you should be asking for the age regardless.
Yeah.
Who goes to a club bar that's 20
Yeah, I was-
and asks everyone's age?
That
Even
was-
if you do ask, how do you know they aren't lying about their age? It's not even like a crazy assumption to make that if somebody lies to get into the club, they'll probably lie about their age if you ask them
Right.
outright. So like, we are
Exactly.
even. Very unfortunate situation, and honestly, the only
But this just goes back to where I was saying, why even initiating hookup culture at all to begin with? Just, you know, abstain.
reason I'm somewhat leaning towards Temper's side is because Rain started to post random things, then retracted his apology, deleted it.
Yeah,
just
that-
coming off as incoherent. Something that
I'm
is
on
coherent
Temper's
is that
side more
Lacey
with
most likely
this so
viewed
far,
us
but
and that FaZe Banks
it's
is
still
40
just
and should get
weird.
off the internet forever.
What do you have against 40-year-olds, WestJet? Wait. What does that mean you would think of me, someone who's ageless and centuries old? Oh no. I hope you never discover me. Oh, this one sounds like it's going to hurt.
Titan's voice actor for Beast Boy, Greg Sipes, claims he was fired by Warner Bros. The day after he announced that he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. The actor, who played the character for over 20 years, stated this via an Instagram comment seen here. Fans have been quick to support Sipes, who claims President of Warner Bros. Sam Register wrongfully terminated him despite the rest of the cast begging Register to keep him on. Sipes
Then
has been
where's the
documenting
lawsuit?
his spiritual journey of healing himself from Parkinson's disease through the likes of mantra and electromagnetic crystals. It is worth noting that Sipes claimed Warner Bros. Literally fired me on Valentine's Day right after I publicly shared my Parkinson's diagnosis. However, his first post revealing the illness wasn't until March 5th. Additionally, Sipes mentioned that the studio was nothing but supportive in April 2025. So whilst the timeline is a little off, it is only by a matter of days. As of recording, the other Teen Titans Go voice actors have yet to give a statement about the matter.
I'm Beast Boy. No, I'm Beast Boy. I'm Beast Boy. No, I'm Beast Boy. I'm Beast Boy.
Not a lot to go off of there. But it sounds like there's more behind that. Hard to go off from just a minute and 20 seconds of barely any information. There's still been no official statements. They have insider claims that Sipes was let go over creative differences. Well, I hope he is doing all right in regards to the Parkinson's. I can't speak on the rest of the situation without knowing more details. I hope it's nothing actually, like, disgusting the way it sounded with the title. What we've been expected to hear by now. But it is getting about that time, everyone, chaps and chapettes. I hope you all enjoyed your time here. Don't know why my speaker, for some reason, turned on there. That was weird. But we do have... where is it? We do have a Discord if you want to join the Slender Society of Sirs. It's a little quiet in there right now. I tried to add my lore and stuff in there over time, but yeah, give it a look-see. Join up, keep in touch. Follow me on X and other social media, although I'm mostly active on X. I do put out shorts every so often, mostly clips of my streams. I'll probably clip up the sections of reactions or make videos out of the sections of reactions from this stream. Make videos about them. Or, you know, make full videos of them. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you all take care. Have a great rest of your day, evening, night, morning, whatever it is for you. But from me, it is time to say goodbye for now. You all should, wait. Is that what... No, that's not my line. It is now time to say goodbye. Gonna go back into the forest. Into my shadows. Ta-ta for now.